Hi everybody and welcome. I hope you guys are having a good time. Welcome back to Hex Token channel, our second live stream of the day, and of course your host Superman in the house. Now I hope you guys are in for an intense session. We're going to be looking at all the stuff. Ethereum merge. We're going to look at ETH fork, ETH work of proof of stake. Proof of work. We're going to look at that as well, and of course we're going to have a look at a lot of the stuff that's happening in that space. Man, it's going to be a lot of fun. Woohoo, as we say, woohoo, get into it. Don't forget to get in the chat. Let's get a lively one. We've got nice green markets. Enjoy it while it's in. And of course, I've been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks. We're in a bullish territory. And of course, we have a good window of opportunity right through probably to about the around about the 20th of September. So obviously that's when the next interest rate numbers come out. We saw that employment came out pretty high. So really good employment numbers, which means more likely a more hawkish interest rate rise. But that's in the future. In the future, we've got inflation numbers, though, coming out on Wednesday. These are key metrics as we move forward into time. So we're going to have a look at a lot of stuff. Stay tuned. There's lots to talk about. We're going to deep dive, deep down, go deep, deep undercover. And, of course, they're going to flesh out a lot of the stuff that's happening at the moment. So let's see who's in the house. Of course, Hex Huddle first in the house there, and D-Hex as well. Hedron Exicon says D-Hex. Nice one. I like how you're doing that. Hedron is pumping. We're going to check out all that first. Stay tuned because we're going to get into a lot of cool stuff. Crypto P Bacon in the house there. Woohoo! Hey, Chris P Bacon. Hey, did I say, I don't know if you saw my video a couple of weeks ago about the bullishness of Hex and, of course, all these ecosystems. Man, is it playing out or what? Looking really good now. And, of course, we've got much, much more ahead of us. So I'd feel pretty bullish at this stage. Very cool. What else we got? Matt and Bali is in house. Hello, everybody. Good to see Matt. Hope the dogs are well. I hope the beach is nice, softy sand out there in Bali. I'm sure. D-Hex as well. Woohoo! Let's go. Absolutely. Robbie O, Hex Token channel member too. Phew, says Robbie O. Phew. And Hex Force 1 has landed. Good evening. Good to see you, Hex Force 1. A big shout out to all the Hex Token channel members. We've got Crispy, Matt, and of course, Robbie O and Hex Force 1 in there. Appreciate the support. And, of course, Hex is the GOAT. If you didn't know, you know now. That's true. Good afternoon. A genuine in the house there. And Mr. Cosy Desk, when PulseChain launch? Cry. Yeah. When? That is the famous question. We're going to have a little look at that later on. So stay tuned for that. First, we're going to get into the market. And because it's so green, we've got to talk about the market first. Normally, I'd leave the market for later on. But the market's so green, we've got to talk about it now. And, of course, look at these beautiful green charts here. A BTC there at 23,361. Looking nice. And of course ETH there at 1717 up 2% as well. Obviously ETH 2.0 the merge, the first phase. There are many phases of ETH 2.0 but the merge is a significant one. And of course coming up 19th September is the scheduled date, and of course that is up 2% and up pretty seriously over the last month. BNB is up at 325, up 4.5%. Everything for the most part is looking green, bar a couple of little red spots in there as well. But if we quickly check on the last month, you can see this is looking pretty tasty. Look at that ETH up 41% on a month there. That's pretty tasty stuff there. Of course, in the meantime, we're going to look forward into the awesome things that are coming ahead. Let's get into Hex, of course. Zoom in. Boom. Woohoo! Looking tasty. Is good old Hex there. Looking really nice. Now, I've got so much stuff to talk about. I hope I talk about it in the right order because Hex is looking really good there. Almost at 52 cents. 5.2 cents, I should say. The reason why I had that on my mind is because I did a calculator before. So just ignore that. 5.2 cents there. That's where we are. And, of course, no, we're not back all-time high yet. But, another 10x from here, and we will be. That's looking pretty good on there. Now, we do want to get up to the 6.2, 6.3. That's a really bullish level, in my opinion. And, of course, we want to blow past our previous top here, 5.5. And, of course, 5.6 here. Our low, of course, back on the date here. Let me just zoom this up. It's a little bit heavy here. I can't read the chart properly. Back on the 19th of June was our low, 2.8. And, of course, many people talking about the low. Richard Hart himself talking about that too. Obviously, based on certain parameters. But, of course, we've been bullish about X for quite a while on this channel. And, of course, a lot of the other channels, we saw a lot of channels stop broadcasting when we were in this bear market. But, of course, we've been looking at the fundamentals. The fundamentals are telling us otherwise, right? So we know we've got Icosa coming up. We've got Maximus coming up. The fundamentals are looking good for Hex. And, of course, the chart itself is looking pretty good. Also, if you take into account Richard Hart's commentary, it's looking pretty good on the chart here too. Now, we do have a few hurdles coming up that can change the macro scene. And of course, we've been very close to that. I did a video on the upcoming financial indicators for August, and we've still got inflation coming up on Wednesday. But we've got a nice big window right through, as I say, through to about September the 22nd, 23rd, when the Fed does its next interest rate rises. These are significant events. They're not to be taken lightly. But in the meantime, we have a nice big window of fundamentals coming up. And of course, it's so good to be in the Hex ecosystem. We've had airdrops. We've got fundamentals coming up to eat up the Hex circulating supply. It's a good time for the Hex. And of course, looking bullish is the outlook. So very exciting. Let us move on from here. So Hex looking pretty good. Let's have a look at what we're up on, a 2.8. We're currently up at 84% in 50 days. So it's a nice little gradual increase in crypto. Obviously, if you were in the stock market, that'd be pretty epic. You'd be going, woohoo, 80%. But in crypto, of course, that's a solid move up. This is the way it goes at the stage. So nice. All right, so that's where we're looking at the moment. Let's see what it would be at the moment. If we put in $20 million, that is going to get us back to 50 cents, $20 million of net buying. Obviously, you got to absorb selling pressure, so you probably need more money than that. But that's kind of giving you an aspiration today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That is how you have to get up back to 50 cents there. So cool. But we don't need to necessarily get there straight away. All we need is about, say, 950. 1, 2, 3, and 950 would get us up at 6.2 cents. So 6.2, 950,000 net buying. That would get us up to this nice, really strong 6.2, which is where I want to get to in the near future. So looking good. Today's really a nice step in the right direction towards that. So very exciting. Let's bring on a bit of Richard stuff. Before we do that, we're going to get into a couple more comments. I don't want to get too far behind in the chat here. So I think we've got a few else in here. PulseChain, DHex says PulseChain launch in 4 weeks is DHex. Hey, you just never know. It could happen then. And Hex PLSD, the Hex and Hedron, go Hex and Hedron. Yeah, we're going to talk about that with the Ethereum fork there. Hex PLSD 52 cents lot would be nice as Hex. Yeah, true that. Hex Hedron the aliens be like LFG. Let's go. Yeah. Soon says Hex. Soon says Kate Fergus says, what's up, guys and girls? And Mr. Cozy there says, I'm sad I only have 200 million of PulseX, but I don't have PulseChain at all. I need to buy PulseChain, says Mr. Cozy there. Yeah. Hey, you're not alone. There's a lot of people that are after PulseChain. Like I said, there's not many wallets with PulseChain. And so it's going to be under massive demand for both of those, to be honest. Probably a view, very nice. Very nice. Very nice. There's probably a view. Good to see in the house. I'll be so rich as Mr. Cozy. Yeah, well, 250 is a nice bag. 200 million, it's a nice bag. I'm sure you'll be perfectly fine. HP in the house there. Sup, Superman. Hello, everybody. All I heard was 52 cents, and I was about to fall out of my chair, says HP. Yeah, that was hilarious. Just got more Hex myself, says Hex is the way. Wise. Follow Hex is the way. A very wise person and a content creator as well. So big shout out to Hex is the way. Gabe, it says Hex Gang. What's up? Good to see you, Gabe. What else we got? It's now in the house there. Good to see you, Brian. Glad you could stay up as well. Unimax, hi all. Welcome everyone, says D Hex there. Unimax says, can you do 3 streams a day? There's one missing one in the middle. Yeah. Well, hey, I can do one later on in the evening. That's definitely possible. Stay tuned, Unimax. Hex 10,000X move incoming. RH told me so. Woohoo! I'm bullish on Hedron. Volatile. Yeah. And excellent choice. Woohoo! Excited. All right. It's great to catch up with everybody. We're looking pretty good. 5.2 cents just got hit live on Hex Token. We're going to pump it. Let's pump this channel. Pump. Hex Token channel pump in the place. Let's hype ourselves up because it is a lot to be hyped up about. Let's play a video first. Let's do it. This is Richard talking about the macro scene here. So let's get into it. And of course, listen very carefully. I think it's this video. Listen very carefully to the end. Very carefully to the end. It's very important. Let's go on this one. All right. Bye for now. We're not going anywhere. Here we go. Woohoo!
In the past, and you've been accurate about calling the bottom of Bitcoin and then calling the top of Bitcoin on these cycles, and it seems like that leads the industry or leads the bear bull. And then you also had called the watch top, and you've recently, maybe a month or so ago, had said about real estate. Where do people actually put money? If they're going to speculate on something, where do they put money?
Well, what if everything is going down? You just literally sit in cash and hope everything keeps going down, and then buy the bottom. but it's risky because, you know, some people don't update they don't like, some people follow t.me/Richard's calls and like, they know what I'm thinking when I think it, or twitter.com/RichardHartwin. But if you don't like update your life view or like read what I'm thinking about often enough, you can just miss like a big move, you know? So I think the bottom will come at some point. And in Hex, it might already be here. Like Hex might have already bottomed. Because you know, the last bear market only lasted a year. And we're now a year and a half into this bear market. And it's because a fake double top was bought on leverage, and now all those guys are getting liquidated. 3 Arrows Capital, etc. And then people are discovering that getting loans on your crypto is also leverage, but you just didn't know it. So like now you're being forced to sell to meet your margin call of getting liquidated on your loan. But people didn't realize that that could happen because they thought crypto only went up and never down. So once that's all washed out, and if macro at least pauses on the interest rate increases or goes flat for a little while, you know, that could be our bottom, and the timing is about right for it. So X might have bottomed now. You might see bottoms in Ethereum and Bitcoin next few months, hopefully. But really, the interest rates does affect it.
Right.
So the Fed can, if they keep raising rates, I mean, if they move rates back to the 70s, you're going to continue to see prices decline across everything. But here's the part that people don't get, that I know that nobody else knows. If the prices continue to go down and the value of your assets continues to go down, it cancels out. So if you had assets and you wanted to buy a house with them, the house goes down and your assets go down, but they go down the same rate, you broke even. And so the real difference in a market where the very, very occasional instance where cash is actually becoming more valuable almost never happens, but we're in it now. As long as what you have isn't dropping at the same rate the prices of the stuff you want are, you're still ahead of the game. It's an interesting little analysis that can make you feel better about watching the price of things go down.
Right.
I mean, that's the difference. If you don't own the thing, you want the price to go down. If you do own the thing, you want the price to go up. So it's really just a question of what you own. You own real estate, you want the price to go up. You want to buy more real estate, you want the price to go down. You own crypto, you want the price to go up. You want to buy crypto, you want the price to go down. Oh, interesting fact. You may not have heard this, but the sacrifice addresses for PulseChain and PulseX, at one point, we're sitting on $660 million of stablecoin.
So did you pick that up at the end there? So there's a couple of little gems in there. Obviously around Richard saying maybe the bottom for Hex is in. So that's pretty bullish, right? So maybe the bottom for Hex is in. And of course, we've been bullish about Hex for quite a long time here. Obviously, we've been talking about the waterfall chart, talking about Icosa and Maximus, all the fundamentals, and also looking at the chart, a trend reversal, looking very bullish. And of course, we know that my target is 6.2, 6.3, so looking very, very cool here. That's really cool. And Richard is talking about that too. So very exciting. The other thing, of course, is he did mention the interest rate hikes. We've been talking about that on this channel. These are important numbers, so we don't talk about them flippantly. And of course, but we have a window of opportunity, as I said earlier, up through to at least the 20th, 22nd, 23rd of September, probably slightly earlier because the media always runs some of that news. So very, very exciting. Here we're at 5.2 cents on the Hex and looking good on the uptrend as well. So looking good there. But did you see the end bit? Let's bring it back. And of course, the end bit, listen to this last bit here. Hopefully it's going to play. No, it's not playing. All right, so it's not going to play. The last bit was, did notice that the PulseChain and PulseX sacrifices with over $600 million US dollars, some of it's been moved out. So if you think about that, let's go check that out. So we had the PulseX sacrifice there with over 1 billion, probably close to 1.1 billion. And of course, we had USDC about 109 million. USD Tether there, 48, and some BUSD and etc. in there. But obviously combined with PulseChain as well, which was pretty epic. We had massive amount of stablecoins sacrificed there too. So you're probably looking over about $600 million of stablecoins. So that was an interesting point that he made about that. He goes, isn't it interesting that is the case? So I thought that was pretty cool. We're going to bring that back in one more time. I don't know why it's having an issue with loading, but let me just add that one more time on here.
Interesting little analysis. As long as what you have isn't dropping at the same rate, that's an interesting little analysis that could make you feel better about watching the price of things go down. Right. I mean, that's the difference. If you don't own the thing, you want the price to go down. If you do own the thing, you want the price to go up. So it's really just a question.
So it's coming up here about the sacrifice wallets.
What you own. You own real estate, you want the price to go up. You want to buy more real estate, you want the price to go down. You own crypto, you want the price to go up. You want to buy crypto, you want the price to go down. Oh, interesting fact. You may not have heard this, but the sacrifice addresses for PulseChain and PulseX, at one point, we're sitting on $660 million of stablecoin.
At one point. So there we are. And as obviously, if you can have a look into the actual wallets now for the sacrifices, you can see in the PulseChain one, there's hardly anything in there now. And of course, in the PulseX one, there is $278 million of DAI. Some of that's been switched. Some of the currency has been switched into DAI. There's $105 million of USDC and $40 million of USD Tether there. So that is well less than $660 million there. So obviously, if you do some chain analysis, it's probably gone into some other crypto. So I think they did a bit of this back in March. And so it's you have to do quite a bit of chain analysis, but pretty interesting little tidbit there that they decided to add in there at the end of this live stream. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now I haven't done the full chain analysis to see where a lot of that stuff's going, but obviously if Richard's talking about possibly the bottom of the market here, so obviously him saying the bear market all the way back here, I guess around about March, April from the previous top. And of course, here we are, how many days into it? We're 482 days into that. And of course, that's a long time, over a year. So, you're talking about quite a bit of time. And normally we'd get maybe a year from the top there, taking his perspective on this one. So that would bring us into the 14th of April. And of course, since then, April, May, June, July, August, September, etc. So that's kind of where we are at this stage. So pretty amazing. And basically calling maybe the bottom's in now, and maybe the bottom for BTC, maybe it has a little bit more time to go in September, something like that, obviously with the interest rates rises. That being said, of course, since that time we've got the employment numbers out, so I think the rates will probably be a bit more hawkish going forward. Just take that into account, and of course the inflation rate coming out on Wednesday is going to be important too, so we're going to take in all that information as time goes by. But pretty bullish talk there from Richard, but it was reliant on certain, certain parameters to be hit. Obviously, he said if the Fed is more hawkish, then and it tries to chase inflation seriously, then that could change the whole picture, and that's true. So at the moment, we're lucky. They're doing the wrong thing in terms of fighting inflation, both on the supply side and the interest rate side. That's good for us. We want that. If they're doing the right thing, that would be bad for us. So we don't want them to do the right thing because we want the assets to keep pumping. So it's really cool. The other thing, of course, is that if they were to do that, they would have to pretty much get the interest rate rises up towards the inflation rate. And of course, we don't want that. They want inflation to pull back. It's probably going to ease back a bit, especially with the oil prices coming back down to under $100, closer to $90 last time I checked. So that's kind of bullish for us. So very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff around the sacrifice addresses, moving stable coins possibly into ERC20 cryptos is my guess. Haven't done a chain analysis, but I'm just guessing that based on what he was saying about that. So interesting stuff happening there. With that, used to be about 660 million, and of course you can see there it's about 400. So it seems like 200 and so million, 250 million or so is being moved somewhere else. So listen on the chat if you have heard any analysis on that. That'd be really, really cool. So very cool. That is where we're at the moment. Let us jump over to the next scene. Of course, was Richard talking about Hex in particular. So let's get into this.
Can you comment about market appetite outside of Hex? Because I know you engage the community outside of Hex and Hexicans. Can you talk about, are people asking for advice? Are they asking to participate? Or are they kind of holding their positions or what?
I mean, you've had a couple people. I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean, outside of like, let's just say the Hex YouTubers and everything like that, everyone's been pretty scared to tell anyone to even DCA or anything like that.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I told my best friends to get in.
Well, I said outside of like the Hex influence group and everything like that, you know.
So here's a really important part that, Richard's told his best friends to get in the crypto. The pullback's pretty serious. Obviously, he's looked at that whole big, long time frame. And, of course, that's pretty interesting, right? So he's looked at this chart. And, of course, he's obviously looked at the Hex chart here. And he's told his friends to get in. So it's a really interesting call from Richard.
This is pretty, because, I mean, just about everyone who recommended anything in the last 2 years, it's pretty much gone. It's like down 90%. I mean, and then most other influencers, talked about like Luna, Celsius, Voyager.
Oh, fuck all those people.
Yeah, all that shit. And then
scumbags.
Yeah, so I mean, but there is starting to be. I mean, this is why I go on all these red pill shows and everything, trying to tell people about Hex and other cryptocurrencies, is because it's like, you guys, you want to buy when the prices are going down, obviously, and it's not the easiest time to be buying, obviously, right? But that's what you want to buy.
It is actually the easiest time. You get more for the same money. I never understood this logic. Why do people like paying more for stuff?
And that's what I've said all the time too. People like paying higher prices. People like paying higher prices. They get nervous. And of course, we've seen even within our own community, we've seen a lot of channels stop when we're in this bear market, stop broadcasting, or at least not broadcasting as much. It's nice to see recently we've seen quite a few bigger channels come back. And of course, that's really bullish. Hex chart's looking bullish. And of course, it doesn't mean that there's not going to be little pull downs and this and that. But I think the calling the bottom and probably a reasonable call at this stage. Obviously, I've been basing it on fundamentals because we've got massive fundamentals coming up in the next 6 weeks with the Icosa and Maximus. So as well as the chart looking better technically. So it's going to be pretty fascinating. That, of course, Richard's also talking about the more bear time frame with the BTC, and of course Hex already been in a bear market since September. So I think that's pretty playing out pretty nicely as well. And of course, Richard's pretty bullish. He's like, why are you talking about that? It's a great time to pick it up. So let's continue on with Richard's comment.
It's the same stuff. Wouldn't you rather get more stuff for your money than less stuff?
Yeah, that's why we've been screaming it from the rooftops for people to buy. I mean, we have literally outside of the Hexagons, like, I think I've been one of me, Charlie, and a couple of guys have been one of the few people out here telling people to get Hex now. I mean, every time we do a course and everything like that, this last course we ended up getting, we have like almost, maybe 870 people in this. More than half of them are brand new, and then they're all going to be onboarded into Hex. So it's like we've been onboarding as much as we can, getting people into Ethereum at the very least, tiptoeing them, because once they have Ethereum, they can just one little step and they're in Hex or in their whatever cryptocurrency they want to get into. But typically, Hex is probably the best one. Yeah.
I don't think people realize how good it is that you can go up 10,000x and only dip 10% more than Ethereum.
All right, so that's another. Richard dropped a lot of these little alpha bombs like this. So he's really hinting to the people, the picking up a lot of volumes at this price range, the market, BTC versus Hex, of course. So he's dropping these little bombs like the previous one, the little bomb at the end of the period about the US dollar in the sacrifice, 660 million. Obviously, he's following up his actions with his words. So it's pretty interesting. He's telling his friends on board. Really, these are the sort of clues that Richard's giving out, all these little bombs here. And of course, this one here is also true as well. So let's listen to this bit again a bit more.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how good it is that you can go up 10,000x and only dip 10% more than Ethereum. Ethereum dipped 85, Hex dipped 95. Still up 70x versus Ethereum. 70x. That's a lot of percent. Isn't that 7,000%?
Yeah, so that's pretty cool there. Insights from Richard. So I really, really enjoyed that. So I hope you did too. All right, so lots of little bombs in there, alpha bombs. So cool. And Hex price there moving up to 5.22 cents. So we're still moving up a bit higher today, looking really, really nice. Of course, it was going to take us about $950,000 to get us to my target price around 6.2 cents. So that's pretty cool. 950,123. Yeah, about to get us to about 62% there. So looking good so far, though. Chart looking nice. Hex token pump. That's pretty much how we roll. All right, cool. Looking good. And of course, look, interesting pattern here on the BTC chart as well. Moving up there. And of course, you got in the purple line, you've got the 100-day SMA, simple moving average there at around about 25,654. So far, so good. I actually think that ETH is probably most likely going to pull the market up during this window of opportunity before we get that next interest rate rise. Obviously, the inflation number on Wednesday might cause a little bit of fragility, particularly in the stock market. But of course, looking good for crypto as well. All right, so here's a look at the quad charts. We're going to get into a lot more stuff coming up, so stay tuned for that. We've got going to be talking about the ETH fork, proof of work, and versus Ethereum. So stay tuned for that. It's coming up. We've got Hex at the moment, 5.2 cents on the hourly, looking really nice. We're at a very critical point too coming up in terms of getting to a higher high there. And of course, we've got Hedron there, absolutely massive breakout in Hedron. Is probably the most exciting chart today. We're up at 1866. We actually got, I talked about this in the first live stream. Crazy, right? I talked about 2000, and it's already done it today. And today, don't you love crypto? And of course, here we are. The low today is a 1535 and the high 2026. So looking beastie boy here. Currently at 1866, looking really, really nice. And nice volumes coming in, obviously with the value as well. So very, very cool. That is Hedron. And of course, what else we got? We've got Maxi there at currently at 10.3 cents. Looking really good too. Obviously going to probably follow up Hex there with the Hex pairing. And of course, we got a 98.3% premium over Hex at the moment, holding up there. So still looking pretty strong. Hex is on the move. Hex is on the move. And of course, looking very likely that 2.8 cents was the bottom in, particularly not only fundamentally so, but also given the fact we went to bear market pretty much from September last year, and now of course we've also got Icosa and then Maximus coming up as well, massive products to eat up Hex circulating supply and put some buy pressure into the market, no doubt. So some people already starting to nibble at that already, and we can see that helping the chart also. So looking good there. Now we're going to get into some of the other charts quickly. We're going to get into obviously BNB on the BNB chart there with Pulse Dodge. That has moved up 18% almost, 18%. And of course, we're at currently at 44 hundredths of a cent there. P33 is pulled back a little bit from earlier today. It was up at 23 cents, now is at just under 21 cents. And finally, Internet Money is actually having a good day now, really starting to move up. And of course, we talked about attacking at 1600 and then attacking the 2000 after that. That's kind of where we feel like it needs to go. 1600 and then 2000. So far looking nice there on the daily in IM. So KG's got to be happy about that because these were pretty unloved, all these charts, and they're finally having a bit of an opportunity to move, and people are taking interest in them because of why obviously they're facing competition from within the Hex PulseChain community with the Hedron, Maxi, and Hex, for example. We're going to have a quick look at the airdrop token, of course, for weights. Hasn't been doing too much, but maybe it's rebounded a little bit here from our first live stream. Let's pull it up, and I haven't got this on auto here. For some reason, it doesn't give me the option. I have to double check that, but there we are. We're currently at 0.5 cent. So we're actually up today. We're actually really low earlier today, but we're actually made a bit of a green candle. We're at 0.5 cent there as well. I think we closed on this red candle yesterday. This is a new candle. So we're just over 0.5 cent for weight token. But let's get into PLSD. PLSD pulled back to my pullback level, which was it's pulled back actually slightly lower than that, actually. It's pulled back to $7.24. Is currently at $7.60, which was the area that I said it was probably going to go to if it went down, because it was zigzagging up here, having a nice run and then pulling back. So that's just broken that link as well, but it still holds, still got this one intact. So cool. We've lost two different levels there, but this is actually a better angle because it's not going up too aggressively. And it was an overbought territory, and I said that day after day, this could last a few days, and that's exactly what's happened. We're now down under 70 now, back down to 65. That being said, of course, depending on how much dry powder the whales have got, they can keep pushing this price up. They want to let it go. It's a bit like fishing rod, where you got the fishing rod to let the fish out, you pull it back, and you let it out, and you pull it back again. And of course, this is the way you want to push this chart up. given the fact it has got scarce supply. And if the whale syndicate has still got dry powder, they can keep ratcheting us up. So they're just going to let it go a bit, let a bit of selling happen. And of course, there's probably a little bit of selling, possibly. I haven't checked the charts. Maybe some's going into Hex and Hedron as well. There's always a chance of that because a lot of people have still got this free. So it's all that freemium that people have got that could be transferring to. So pretty playing out textbook at the moment. That's pretty much the market. So woohoo! All right, so looking good. We're going to get into the next session, which is around Ethereum and, of course, the fork with the proof of work there. So let's get into it. But before we do that, we're going to catch up on the chat and see who is in the house. Any comments that have been made as well. Very cool. Mr. Cosby, I love that. I will be so rich. I like that. I like that attitude. Gabe in house. What's up, gang? Just got more Hex myself. Says Hex is the way earlier. Sup, people? It's now in the house. Hi, all, says Unimax. Welcome, everyone, says D-Hex. I think I've read quite a few of those, so we're going to jump forward in time. So many great people in the chat, says Hex is the way. That is true. There's lots of really cool people in the chat. Is this live? It is certainly live over. Excellent choice is in the house with the thumbs up, the smashing arms, or something like that. Let's jump through some of these. Hope everyone is in the green candles. Says Andrew. Hashtag Hedron. Yeah, Hedron looking really, really good. Let's go back to the Hedron chart, actually. We've got the Hedron chart there looking nice. That is a really impressive chart here on the Hedron. Bam. And look at that. Woohoo. Everything looking good. Hex looking good. Hedron looking good. And Pulse Dodge, it's looking reasonably good. Given the big run up, there's got to have a little bit of a pullback to move higher. And of course, we've seen this zigzag here, and zigzag here. So everything's still looking pretty good there. But Hedron definitely the standout for the day. That's for sure. Robbie O says LFG Hex Hedron made it a second 10x today, 1000% gain. Well done, Robbie O. Very, very cool. Let's look at Hedron, says Hex. We have definitely looking at that. What's up, guys? Turtle Power says Hex God Turtle. Good to see you in the house, by the way. Looks like Hedron is trying to climb Mount Everest. It does look like that. A real skyscraper. How is there 250 billion Hex in the Pulse Hex Sacrifice address? Says Robbio. And of course, what else there? What's up, Hex God Turtle? A lot of people. We had a look at that, didn't we? On the address. I'm not sure if I closed them down. We've got lots on that one. On the Hex. Yeah, the Hex there. So yeah, looking good there. Under 13 billion. So nice. Remember the PulseChain, the address that was Hex was moved into the PulseX one to claim all the PulseX. Cool. What else are we going? We're going back up to here. We're going to get into the news, ladies. Hello, Sonia. Vitalik Buterin. We're going to get into this first. Wookie says, Wookie having a party in the house. Hedron is a beast. Wookie done told you, says Wookie. Nice one. And of course, let's go back to that chart there. I don't want to move around too much there. What's up, Hex Token? You're still doing sci-fi and Chinese? I am doing sci-fi and Chinese. It's my favorite sort of Saturday hangout. What else there? Kate Figure says, wait until Hex pumps Wookie. I have a back on chat. Yeah. Half the times I can't understand some of these comments. I hate that they didn't fix RH audio on that stream. It was really low on my side, 6X God Turtle. I've just come back from work. Hi all. I'm going to jump through some of this. Rothko says, our price is chasing the T-share. It has to eventually. That's true. Superman is the boss, says Hex Ultra. I appreciate that. Is weight safe to claim? It seems to be safe to claim. Apparently, the Pulse Police have said it's okay. Once again, you can follow the Pulse Police on Discord. Sorry, on Telegram there, Stacey Jones. You can actually access that through our Discord. You just have to go to new token links. Down at the bottom here, you have Pulse Police, and you can just follow Pulse Police on the Telegram there. And of course, they check out some of the contracts, particularly airdrop ones. So well worth following if you're looking to claim. Obviously, nothing on this channel is investment advice. Just remember that. All right, cool. What else? We've got a few other comments. The longer you wait, the better. Just saying, yeah, the longer you wait for your wait token to claim, the more you will have. So that's true. You get one wait more per hour. That's true as well. We've got John Gonzalez. Morning, fellas, from Gran Canaria. Good to see you, John. What else? We've got D-Hex here. If you've got 1 million Pulse, you could become a millionaire in the first year. It says D-Hex. Yeah, and like I said to you, But with PulseX, I did the numbers, and of course, 11,500 people would be millionaires if they hold their PulseX to 1 cent. I still need to do that with the PulseChain one as well. Hex and I says, I've been to Grand Canary, a very cool place. Let's go. Hedron says, peso dude, absolutely. Matt says, just joined, my net connection is not very good. Have we launched yet? Well, maybe I missed it while net was down. You did not miss it, Matt. You did not miss it. We got Jonathan Kapala in house there. I wouldn't want to be in the bottle for freedom with anyone else than Superman. Yes, says Jonathan. I appreciate it, Jonathan. Big shout out to you. Hedron is the new Hex, says Chin. That's pretty funny. Kate Fergus says, I meant acha. Sorry for the typo. That's all right. But you will get no way token of Pulse launches before you claim. That's true. That is true. All right. So here's let's get into the second part of the live stream. We've got Vitalik Bullrun says Ethereum will be 55% complete post the merge. And this is on the 22nd of July here. And of course, speaking at the Ethereum Community Conference in Paris, Bullrun began by comparing the network to its longtime rival, saying the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum is that Bitcoin is inspired Bitcoin, consider Bitcoin to be 80% complete, but Ethereans consider Ethereum to be 40% complete. And so he said Ethereum can go to being 55% complete after the merge. We're getting so close, which is really amazing. So a pretty big increase there as Eth 2.0 goes. There's quite a few more phases to come up as well. Bullrun described the process a long and complicated transition. Proof of stake is much more secure than proof of work, but it does have its trade-offs. Remember that it does have its trade-offs there. And of course, what's coming up later on, we've got the surge, the verge, the purge, and the splurge, all coming apparently. At the end of this roadmap, the Ethereum will be a much more scalable system. By the end, Ethereum will be able to process 100,000 transactions per second, and that's well into the future, of course. And he looks forward to the future when Ethereum can settle down. I don't know, does that ever happen in technology, blockchain? I don't know. At some point, the rate of change will slow. There are things that could happen. There are unknowns, but those unknowns should decrease over time, obviously, as you're changing the protocol out there. So that's kind of a lead-in to the Ethereum merge, which is coming up on the 19th of September. But this is probably the big drama at the moment. There's been the talk of the Ethereum fork. So we're going to have a look through that. Most members of Ethereum community are counting down the days until the networks merge, a massive upgrade that promises to improve its efficiency and dramatically reduce its environmental impact. Among those excited, unsurprisingly, is Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin. But while the impending merge has brought excitement in the Ethereum community, it's also attracted criticism and speculation. Merge will shift Ethereum from a proof of work consensus to a model of proof of stake one, and not everyone is happy about that. For example, some are pushing against the merge by advertising for potential continued ETH proof of work chain post upgrade. You know, proof of weight, in my point of view, is just old tech. It's really old tech now, if you think about it. And of course, most future proofing blockchains are moving to proof of work. So obviously, the environmental impact, the energy cost, etc., particularly miners, is not a great feature. So. So yeah, on a call with reporters, I got some noise in the background for some reason. On a call with reporters Friday night, Buterin acknowledged the ETH proof of work movement, but he isn't very concerned. So pretty crazy. Sorry, I just got to check something. I'll be back in a second. I got some issues. It's gone. Thank goodness for that. Some weird call noise I heard. On a call with reporters Friday night, Buterin acknowledged the ETH proof of work movement, but he isn't very concerned. So Vitalik Buterin's not very concerned with the ETH proof of work movement. I don't expect Ethereum to really be significantly harmed by another fork. Buterin said, referring to the contentious hard fork or blocks chain split of 2016 that resulted in the separate chain known as Ethereum Classic. My impression from pretty much everyone I talked to in the ecosystem, Ethereum ecosystem, is that they've been completely supportive of the proof of stake effort and united around it. And I really don't see, I see most of the market going with that myself. Mostly and unsurprisingly, the interest now in ETH proof of work has been driven by Ethereum miners like prominent Chinese cryptocurrency miner Chandler Gao. So hopefully I've pronounced that right, Gao there, because miners have something to lose after Ethereum shifts to proof of stake. In other words, their income. Now, obviously, one of the big things for PulseChain launching, and obviously for Ethereum moving to proof of stake, is that you've got at the moment with the proof of work systems, you've got big miners that have big equipment, and they have to use a lot of energy, even if it's renewable energy. They've got a lot of coal and gas and other stuff in there too. They've got to use that to confirm the blocks. And of course, what they do is they get paid the rewards for that, and then they have to pay for that hardware and all that energy. And of course, they have to sell and dump on your heads, right? And they make a profit on while they do it. So that's kind of the ethos there of the proof of work. And of course, from those two point of views, we want to move away from that, which is really, really important. Now, one of the things underpinning Hex, of course, is that, with Hex, with T-shares, you are the miner. You hold the T-shares, and of course, you get paid the inflation. So it's very important that we move to a proof of stake system for multiple reasons, environmental as well as not having people dump on your heads just to confirm the blocks on the blockchain that way. So I think that's pretty interesting. Currently, with proof of work, Ethereum miners validate transactions. So we're going to jump through all that because most of you know that stuff there. Mostly according to Buterin, those are pushing for a fork are just a couple of outsiders that basically have exchanges. To pick that up very carefully, a couple of outsiders that basically have exchanges, and most just would want to make a quick buck. So a pretty scathing attack there on the Ethereum proof of work chain that's apparently got about 60 programmers or something trying to make that happen. He said, so I'm not expecting it to have a substantial long-term adoption. That's probably the key phrase there, longer-term adoption there. Just because I think Ethereum Classic already has a superior community and superior product for people pro proof of work. So if you're in that camp, but that doesn't mean we're not going to see a couple of splats as Ethereum shifts. This is Vitalik. I thought that was pretty funny. If a proof of work fork becomes large, then there's definitely a lot of applications that will have to choose one way or the other. Buterin said, adding that if ETH proof of work gains substantial traction, he expects a lot of market confusion and problems. I hope that whatever happens doesn't lead to people losing money. And I kind of feel like that too. It might be exciting for the short run, but who wants to pay? Who wants to operate on a chain, even if you're getting things for free, where you're getting dumped on your heads by the people that are running the chain or thereabouts? So I think that's pretty important. Even if done, production of Ether proper wouldn't continue on their fork proof of work chain post-merge. Miners would have to create a new coin and a new coin name for whatever they mine and hope it gets adopted by the masses, while ETH itself will remain exclusive to Ethereum on its new proof of stake chain. Same goes for applications and projects, Buterin said. From everything I've seen, he said they're all going to favor the proof of stake side. And of course, PulseChain is proof of stake too. PulseChain will have all the benefits that Ethereum merge has as well. But of course, we're going to be a step ahead because we're going to have the next one, the Surge as well, with the better speed and of course super low costs. So we are really we're already well. If Ethereum's going to be 55% the way long, we're more like 100% the way long, or at least 90% the way long, depending on what their further out upgrades are. So it's a lot better deal there. So I would say that everything that Vitalik's criticized the ETH proof of work, which they're moving away from, is the same things that PulseChain has over there too. Now the only offset, of course, is the quick buck, and that means that if people are going to get copies on the chains, on the new chain that they're going to try and launch, then that will be an issue, right? Because obviously PulseChain's doing the biggest crypto airdrop, so obviously they're going to be competing with that part of the narrative. But of course, PulseChain has many characteristics of its narrative. The first full system state copy of Ethereum, and of course that's what these guys are going to try and compete with. Now, whether they can actually execute is another question as well, and do it properly. The other side of course, is they've also the biggest airdrop in crypto history. So those two parts of the narrative they'll be trying to compete with the Ethereum proof of work fork. But the other parts they don't have, right? So the other parts, potentially the biggest yield farming in crypto history, and of course the incentive token and the deflationary tokenomics, they won't have that either of PulseChain. And the other thing they won't have necessarily is the way that people will come over yield farmers will come over for that, and so you're really getting bigger parts of the market all coming in rather than just the speculators coming in there as well. So they've got a lot of issues there, and of course they're going to have all the bridges as well. So it's going to be pretty fascinating to see that. So I kind of see this as like maybe a 30% hit on the PulseChain narrative with all those fundamentals. And of course, we have deflationary tokenomics as well. So it's kind of like maybe a 30% hit there. So it does put a little bit of pressure, but doesn't really ruin the whole full narrative of all those fundamentals that PulseChain has. there at this stage. Now, obviously, going further, we've already got a few things here around the Go there. So on Twitter here, this is Chandler Go. He's on Twitter. And of course, Eth PoW will be coming soon. Obviously, looking to fork that Ethereum chain there. And of course, to hold proof of work. Now, who wants to be on a chain where you're arguably paying higher fees, right? So we're going to have super fast, super cheap fees on PulseChain. Obviously, with proof of that you're not going to have much change on the ETH network, but you're still going to be paying for these high fees for these Ethereum miners on the proof of work. So it really's got the old school technology, and people want to move away to that to super fast, super cheap chains. So that's a real big issue there with Challenger Go there. The other thing, of course, is those tokens are already issued. So we actually jump forward in time. We jump over to Justin Sun, good old Justin Sun there. ETH W and ETH S trading is live now on Polynex. So they've got these pre-blockchain tokens trading. We plan to go live on August the 8th, but after strong community demand, we managed to deliver the product 18 hours early to go live on August the 7th. So you can see this pump and dump. Of course, Justin Sun's famous for these, creating all these tokens out of nothing, getting rich that way. So no surprises there. And of course, you can see Polynex Exchange here announcing the support from ETH for ETH proof of work here. Trading is now live for Ethereum potential hard work tokens. And of course, ETH W there and ETH S there, two trading pairs in the house there for Polynex. First crypto exchange support and list Ethereum H potential hard fork tokens, ETH W, ETH 1, and ETH S, ETH 2 there as well, trading there. So open August the 7th at 5 p.m. UTC time. Trade opened at 7:40 UTC. So those are the kind of things there. And of course, on Polynex, you can actually see the links here. So I'll post these in the chat in case you want to check those out of some random curiosity. I know some of you speculate on these things, but that is the first pair there. That's the first one there. And you can see the price here trading wild volatility to start off with, and now it's eased off into this ratio here. This is interestingly enough, the pair is ETH W versus ETH there. And of course, there it is at 0.07, just a flattened off line there, and the volume has fallen off for the moment. For the moment, obviously, they'll be waiting for closer to the so-called fork, hard fork there of Ethereum. And then you've got the other one, ETH S there. ETH has also had the wild volatility, moving down into 92.9 on the ratio of ETH S versus ETH there. So those are the two pairs at the moment. I think I posted that second one there. I'm pretty sure I did. So that is the one there, Poly Hex. Yeah. All right, so let's get that is kind of some of the drama that's happened. So is PulseChain better? Well, PulseChain's clearly better on so many fronts, environmentally friendly. Now, the one competing narrative, which probably is the fact that who will be first to airdrop everything, they've actually got to deliver. Apparently, they have a team of about 60 devs been working on this with Goose, so we will see. But they've only got part of the narrative, and it really does look like a pump and dump. And who wants to use the chain where you're paying high fees and you still got the same issues of the old proof of work? So it really is pretty much like a cartel that's trying to dupe a whole ton of people. So we will see how that goes. They win all the time, right? They win. People coming on over, they may win or lose depending on how they end up there as well on their chain. So that's pretty much it on that one. And of course, we've got at the moment, Hex info that Hex so far is looking really, really good. We're up, 293 versus the all-time low for now, 294 versus BTC, and 73x versus Ethereum. So Hex looking pretty tidy there at this moment. So very, very cool. That's pretty much an update on there. And of course, we're going to watch that pretty closely as it develops. Now, will it put pressure on PulseChain? Will that put pressure on PulseChain? We will see whether Richard responds to that. I don't think so. I don't think Richard's going to necessarily respond to that, is my guess. And of course, we've got the updates that we had from Richard around ETH 2.0. So we're going to play that first one that we have played before. We're going to play that one now.
Yeah. Have you seen, before I lead it to, I'll ask you two. Number one, do you think Ethereum 2.0 goes, actually happens? And when it happens, does it go ahead and dock and go off without a hitch? Or will you see problems?
Software takes a long time, and software sometimes has bugs.
But we're okay with waiting, right? I'm okay with waiting.
I'm okay with waiting. I mean, look, I'd like PulseChain to launch before it, but truthfully, it really doesn't matter whether PulseChain launches before it or not because it doesn't affect the gas fees. Ethereum 2.0 does absolutely nothing to affect the gas price.
Correct.
It does nothing to increase throughput. It is the exact same gas price, homies. And so PulseChain is there to help get those gas fees down, give everyone the largest free airdrop. And so whether we should beat them to market, but in case we don't, it's fine.
Yeah, so Hex is the way of saying we might get a copy of a Hex on ETH, a proof of work. I had a stream on this recently, so that's going to be interesting whether that actually plays out or not, whether they can actually launch it properly. There's still operational risk before people launch and do the fork, so it's going to be interesting. Hex is the way. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to get that. Another airdrop for Hexkins. That's true either way. So cool. What else there? So that was the first one there regarding the Hex versus ETH, and of course
about PulseChain. What is PulseChain? When is the launch?
Sure.
A lot of people are asking that.
Yeah, well, PulseChain is the world's largest free airdrop. We're going to reduce Ethereum's fees by basically doubling their capacity or more. We fork the Ethereum system state so that all of your coins get copied on the new chain for free. You can go play with those coins now if you want. Go to pulsechain.com, go use the testnet. You can go trade those coins for fun right now on the testnet. And we're just waiting for the devs to, improve a few things, higher throughput, more security. And then we can go to mainnet. It's just software's hard, right? If you want truly secure software with perfect flawless operation, it takes a while to get it right, and Hex took a long time to get right. And that's the reason PulseChain, we've been at it for over a year now. Probably longer. We've probably been at it for about a year and a half. And we're close, man. We're so close. If my devs were dumber, we would have already launched. But because my devs are so good, it takes longer because they catch all the things. They're like, hey, this, that. You're like, yeah. So it would be miraculous because it can reduce the gas fees, which are too high. It can give us higher throughput. It can save the environment.
Yeah.
And it's got better tokenomics. It burns the coins. So 25% of the fees are just burnt. And top of VIP 1559 as well, which also does burning. So I'd have to estimate how much extra burning that'll do. And so we've got PulseX, which is our fork of Uniswap, which does fee burning, no inflation, only deflation. We've got PulseChain, which has deflation only and fee burning in protocol. It's really awesome. Like, we're going to soon have vertical integration. We're going to have PulseChain consensus network, PulseX trading, Hex value storage. We've got a wallet being built now as a MetaMask replacement. That's nearly complete vertical integration. The only thing that's missing is fiat on-ramps and off-ramps. That's it. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so I think people will go, obviously, if they successfully launch that fork, people will go over it and get their airdrops. But are you going to stay there? That's the question. Are you going to stay there for high fees? Are you going to stay there to have miners dump on your heads? Are you going to stay there to prop up the exchanges that are getting profit rich from that? Or are you going to come over to PulseChain where it's super fast and super cheap, and you've got all the yield farming incentives as well, where it's a far more prosperous place? So it's going to be fun to see that. And of course, proof of stake allows you to do that. So really, you're going from a high cost network over to a cheap cost network, super fast. It seems like the other one will be, pretty much like a cartel, as opposed to a place where everybody can flourish. Kind of feels like where it is at the moment. Of course, everyone's going to go for some free airdrops. That's going to be a natural part of it. So we'll see how that goes. I imagine a lot of that wealth will be transferred out into the better blockchains from Ethereum over to PulseChain, obviously, when PulseChain launches. And Ethereum Classic's already out there, right, with the proof of work system. So it's going to be fascinating. I think the future is proof of stake, so don't see that going away anytime soon. But we'll take our free airdrop, that's for sure. Hashtag never selling. Yeah, that's true. PulseChain Hexkin says how to tell which ecosystem coin is more bullish at the moment. Hex, PLSD, Maxi, Hedron. Well, obviously the charts are telling you that Hedron is the most bullish at the moment. And also, if you've been watching my live streams, you would know that Hedron is the front runner at the moment, coming up possibly for a mid-August, maybe slightly later in the month of August launch is looking very likely. Obviously, we're waiting for an update on the audit status, but a public test network's done and little improvements being made to the front end, DApp. So that's looking the bullish for Hex as well. but of course, Hedron rising in anticipation there with staking coming. I actually think that the Icosa contract is going to surprise to the upside, and it's got lots of cool mechanisms. If you want to find out a full review of Icosa, check out my Icosa in a nutshell video. That really does give you a really good overview of Hedron and Icosa. So check that video out. That's coming up. Cool. What else we got going there? PolNX in the house there. Hey, good to see DHEX. Next thing, trade potential PLS and PLSX tokens. Look, that's going to be supercharged. At PulseChain, all the parameters are still, all you're talking about is Ethereum coming over. And of course, we're going to be a superior Ethereum with deflationary tokenomics, yield farming, incentive tokens, dual tokens. You've got to have all those components together. Richard's really thought through that. So it's going to be absolutely ultimate. Now, obviously, we know in crypto that many chains can operate at the same time. We've got many chains operating now. So the only challenge from that one is about people getting a copy of their tokens again. We've already been through this before in the past, way back 2016, 2017, 2018. We had all these sort of forks and splits off as well. Bitcoin Cash and all sorts of other stuff around. BCH. What else there? Hex HODL there. Trade something that doesn't exist yet. Yeah, true that, Hex HODL. That's what they're doing at the moment on these exchanges. It's all just speculation, but interesting the volatility. They flatten out at the moment. And of course, they'll be waiting for some news, for some pump and dumps news there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. People will speculate. That's crypto for you. That's just the way it goes. All right, let's jump back over. We've got Hex at the moment at 5.24, moving up as we speak. We have got a Hex token channel pump on this chart. And of course, Hedron also moving back up to 18.95. And Pulse Dodge, the coin there, taking a bit of a breather at $7.70 at the moment. All-time high, $9.53, only 2 days ago. Pretty awesome. We like it. We like it a lot. And of course, BTC, I think, is pumping too. Yep, BTC, ETH pumping. Looking good. Looking good there. Which charts should I leave it on? I'll leave it on Hedron for the time being. Andrews Reynolds says going to be interesting as the ETH proof of work chain fees will drop only because most of the users will track with ETH 2.0 to proof of stake. But no matter, PulseChain will fix all the ETH drama issues. That's so true, Andrew. Good summary there. Watch Korean drama movies instead. But no, okay, we're jumping through that too. Most users will just come to Pulse. That is true, Hex HODL. It's going to be wonderful having our money printer launch. Yeah. Obviously, if we get Hex on the ETH work, a lot of that stuff's going to be sold. Probably, I don't know. Let's see how that goes. And of course, transferred over into something else and taken out. It'll be interesting. I obviously probably won't support that chain. RH Crypto wallet is going to be huge. That's true too. DHEX. It's going to be big. It's going to be a wild hayride. Yeah. You know what Hexkins do? They take the value and they trade into the best assets, which are Richard Hart assets. So you can see more people getting dry powder to accumulate more Pulse and PulseX. So there are a lot of benefits from it. Ethereum will be Ethereum, but PulseChain is the game changer. That's true. That is so true, HP. Start saving for the sacrifice. RH wallet says DHEX. PulseChain will be the auction for the entire crypto system. That is true, John. And Hedron will do well because it has letters H in its name. I like that. That's pretty funny. Yeah, Hedron up to 1891 now. It's pumping. Look at that. Skyscrapers. There, sir, when PulseChain launched. Yeah, like I say, we've got more things around for a September launch. So we've got PulseCon. We've got the ETH merge. We've got possibly this ETH proof of work fork. Hard fork as well if they get it across the line, and of course, blockchains even forking is not the easiest thing to do, and of course that is going up there. So they've got a few metrics there for that, but I still think that there's more coding to be done. It's kind of where I feel about that. So it could be later on. We will see. Although Richard is in America, and we could have quite a party in September. 2 more weeks, 4 more weeks. Bluegrass Lair says Alex has tweeted about his audit and has agenda. He just tweeted 5 minutes ago. Nice one, Bluegrass. Let's get into it. Thank you so much. Of course, I can't check the projects when I'm live, so it's good to get the heads up on that one. Let's go to Icosa. Hopefully it's on here. No, we've got to go to Alex there from looks of it. Don't Let's see. Let's have a look here. Have we got any tweets? I think it's a bit further down, is it? No. This one here. The Hedron portion of the unified app is up. No borrowing or liquidations yet, but is functionally enough to launch. As 5 hours ago. Test it. Let me know how it works. Going to do a general cleanup of text next. So that's very cool. And what else there? At this point, this is 7 minutes ago. At this point, my agenda is clean up the unified app a bit, focus on live streams, and set a launch date for Icosa. Woo! Pump. So that is super bullish. Super bullish there. Super bullish. Let's go. That's cool. And I'll put some Hex in there. Hex and Hedron, HDRN. I guess just type Hedron. It's all right, cool. Let us go. Bam. So that's great news. And very cool. I'm going to just tweet that on Hex Token channel. Just let me jump over there while we're doing. If you're on the channel there, definitely tweet that out. Let's go to Alex. And let's jump into there. Retweet that. Bam. Very nice. All right, cool. Sorry about that. Just had the, priorities. It's like, it's supposed to be streaming, man. It's supposed to be streaming. All right, cool. All right, we're back on it. All right, so I had to get that out. That was cool stuff. And of course, Hedron there, 1942. Woohoo! That was a good year. That was before World War II, 1942. A nice one there. Appreciate that. Thanks, Bluegrass, for that one. Kate Figures, I wonder if there'll be a shortage of yachts a year from now. Probably. They'll all probably have, Hex and Icosa and Hedron and Maximus and all that written all over them. PulseChain, that's for sure. What else do we got going on there? Hedron has a sort of a button now, says Brazology. Yeah, we're going to jump onto that and have a quick look now. So let's pull up the DApp. Hedron, Icosa. Let's go to Icosa. Icosa Pro. Let's go to Icosa Pro. And I'm just going to make sure I read that correctly. Hedron has a sort of button now. A sort button now. Nice one. That was you, Brazology. You asked for that, didn't you? A sort button. Well done. You listened to your feedback from the sounds of it. Very cool news, man. Oh, what's going on with this? It won't let me launch. Have I got the caps lock on? I have. That's sad. That's sad having the caps lock on. Nice. All right. Let us get on. Make sure I'm on the right chain there. PulseChain. Get on the Play wallets. We're on the Play wallet, so cool. Let's have a look here. So we've got the Hex looking good. We've got Hex, Liquid Hex, Hex T-Share, the Hedron in there, Hedron AMR bonus. That's in the future. Hex staking. We've got our stake running at the moment. I don't even know I had a Hex stake running, but I have. Staked Hex, staked shares, mintable Hedron. Nice. Mint all Hedron. That's a new button, isn't it? Amount of Hex stakes, 1, and mintable Hedron, 45,000. Did you know you can now stake your Hedron? Yes. Oh, cool. Can I? I want to do that. Check out the Icosa app and start earning yield in Hedron. This will spawn multiple wallet transactions. We like that. Mint the Hedron. Nice one. We've got actions in there. Mint Hedron, emergency in stake. Create a Hex stake. That's on the Hex stake. So nice. Hedron. Nice. This wasn't done before. Woohoo! Go, Alex. Yay! We got it, man. Party. And of course, we got 1,026 Hex there on the Hedron. So that's looking good. What do we got? Our HSI stakes here. This is what I got. Yeah, that's right. So very nice. We've got staked Hex, staked shares, 200 B shares there, mintable Hedron. I haven't got much. This is all on testnet there. HSI encapsulated Hex stakes perform identically to native stakes, but have granted additional features by the Hedron protocol. I like that. A mint all Hedron, create hex stake. Nice. That's cool. Some of the features there. Nice. Bigger pace better, longer pace better. So all the hex staking interface there. Nice. HSI tokenized stakes. If we've turned our wrap stakes, HSI stakes into NFTs, that's what show up here. And of course, we got we have done that, but we sold them to the Icosa contract. So let's go to Icosa, and Icosa there showing we've got 4 untokenized HSIs. We've got no NFTs or tokenized HSI hex stakes. We've got a Hedron in there. We've got our stake going. Very nice. We've already accumulated some Icosa yield on both our Hedron and our Icosa staking. We've got our We Are All SA. Cool. We've got token ID number 100 there, which is pretty cool. Got some actions, transfer NFT, redeem Icosa. If we redeem the Icosa when this goes actual live, we will be out of the pool and we will stop earning the yield. Last man standing gets it all. And of course, forever. So it's pretty cool. HSI buybacks, that's where we make wrapped hex stakes and then tokenize them, sell them as NFTs to the Icosa contract. And of course, they will give us Icosa back. And of course, they will go and borrow against that HSI stake. And then, of course, default on it and sell that HSI stake back onto the liquid market. So it's going to be fun to see that play out too. Looking very cool. Sell all. Got nothing to sell, but there it is. You are selling these HSIs to Icosa country in return for quite an amount of Icosa. Cool. All right, so nice stuff there. And let's quickly check over to the Hedron DApp. I think there might be a little change in there. Let's go to the Hedron DApp. Connect the wallet. So you can see this is the Hedron view. So the Icosa view actually on Hedron, if you go to Hedron tab, is actually having a look at these. So there it is there. That there is essentially what's showing up on here on the Hedron DApp there, which is pretty cool. And you can see you can tokenize these stakes over here on Hedron, which is pretty cool. So on here, can you do that here? Let's go to there. Yeah, you can tokenize now on here. Woo-hoo-hoo! Nice. So we don't even have to go to Hedron now. We can do it all on the Icosa app. That's very, very cool. We like that a lot. So nice there. I think that was probably the highlights there. Liquidations, we got that going on too. Obviously, I'm on the Pulse chain, so I'd have to switch over to the Ethereum chain for that. But nevertheless, that is looking good. Pretty nice. So what we're going to expect, this is going to be pumpermental for Hex. People have to make HSI stakes, put the Hex in. They get a 10% bonus. So if they put in, let's say, put in 100,000 Hex, and of course, they put them in for 5,505 days, they'll be able to make an HSI stake here. And of course, they'll be able to, because they've got a 555-day stake in it, you get a 10% bonus when you sell your HSI stake to the Icosa wallet. And of course, the only way to get Icosa in the first 30 days is to sell HSI stakes, because Hedron staking minimum is 30 days before you get Icosa. So, minimum staking length is 30 days. So the only way is to sell HSI stakes. So super bullish for Hex, as I say, in the short term, and obviously bring Hedron staking to Hedron with the staking here for Hedron. That's super bullish for Hedron. Obviously, there's about 84.5 trillion Hedron, so getting a lot of that staked is going to be cool. Bullish for that, and of course, then on top of that, you got the Icosa gamification as well, Icosa staking. So that's pretty neat. And obviously, that has a vicious circle. You sell HSIs to the Icosa, it's going to borrow Hedron, pay that out as rewards to stakers here. And of course, on top of that, it's going to then default on those. All the Hedron that gets bid on those is going to be burned. The other thing, of course, is We Are All SA is going to run for 14 days. That's going to you have to put in Hedron to bid in for points for your NFT. The more Hedron you put in, the more points you get relative to the rest of the pool. And of course, you're going to be able to get pretty much Icosa forever. And of course, you get 100% of the bonuses that are made through Icosa and through Hedron. So all the bonuses that these people get by staking Icosa and Hedron, you're going to get a copy in the We Are All SA. So I reckon this is going to be a lot of fun to see how people go into this and how they value it, that sort of thing. So it's got a lot of fun. So super, super good there. Nice news for that one. Very cool. What else we got there? Alex says Alex listened and delivered. A real hero. The people says Briz drew that. Hedron has a sort button. I was just trying to find that actually. I couldn't see that there, but I'm sure it's there. Don't click mint or Hedron, says Brizology, and I will not. Crypto7 says, great stream, buddy. We are the most positive streamers. We are. Big shout out, Crypto7 out there, killing it out there in the UK. You probably got a stream coming up soon there, Crypto7. Great to see you in the house there. The bottom is in on Hex. There, 8 Crypto 7. It's looking super bullish. Brazil says it opens all the stakes one by one, which for me sucks because I have over 200 stakes. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Excellent choice is in the house there. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Very cool. And Brazil says, but you only have 4 stakes, so you won't be. It's so bad. Yeah, it's just our play wallet, right? So I'm not using a real wallet. It's just our play wallet. All right, so cool. Yeah, so we've had this USDC moving out. So where's it gone? Maybe if I had enough time, I'd go and do some wallet searching. Let me know if you do end up seeing. Obviously, we had about 660 million. We've got about, I don't know, what did I say, about 450 million in there. So obviously, maybe Richard's backing up his words with some actions there as well. So nice. We don't, Richard in inverted comments. All right, speculation on my part, of course, there. All right, cool. Let's jump back to Hex at the moment. Currently at 5.25 cents, moving up real nice. Look at that beautiful setup. And of course, Hedron, woohoo, 1991. I think it's about to blow a new height, get to a new height here, hitting our 20,000 marker. This was our target. And of course, up and away after that. Boy, oh boy, where could it go? Let's pull out this all the way back here. I guess after this, where we're looking at here, maybe 228. That's going to go past that. So we're probably looking at 3,000 is next, straight to 3,000. Obviously not in a straight line necessarily, but certainly looking very good. Watch this space. Definitely got a good pump mental to move up some pretty big numbers. Maybe at the stage. So maybe 2,400 is kind of the next target, and then maybe 3,000. Seems pretty fair there. Maybe 2,400, and then I'm just looking at this chart, 2,700, 2,400, 2,700, then 3,000. Kind of seemed like some natural points there. Very cool. And of course, Pulse Dodge coin there, $7.80, bouncing off $7.24 there. So it's still looking pretty good. And of course, has knocked out 2 extreme angles, but still looking pretty good on that chart. Has moved. Just bumped back at the point there, 70%, 70 points, sorry. So it wasn't overbought territory. We'll see how that gets on. I didn't even want to look at this chart because this chart's probably going to be insane. Let's put that added in. RSI. Must spell the RSI. Let's put it in. Bam. And of course, woohoo! Look at that. That's the RSI for Hedron. There, look at that. That is definitely up in the thing. Now, it could stay up here for a couple of days, as we saw in the Pulse Dodge coin here. We're up here, elevated in the overbought territory. And now it looks like we've just actually hammered it up there at the moment, up at 84. Woohoo! So looking good on that candle, man. That's so good. I'm not sure if I have RSI. Yes, I have RSI here on the Hex chart here. We're currently only at 64. Plenty of room to move on Hex. Plenty of room to move up there. And of course, more importantly, probably is the stochastic RSI with the crossover there looking good here. Plenty of room to move up to the top there. So really cool. Very cool indeed. All right. Let's get back into some of the comments. We've got Crypto 7 in again. Hey, big shout out. Hex is such an amazing opportunity right now. Brilliant stream, says Crypto 7. I appreciate that. And yeah, Crypto 7 and I, we've both been talking about how pumpermentalish the Hex chart's been looking very, very good. And of course, the bottom being in looks very, very likely. The only issues, of course, we are keeping track of those are the interest rate rises, but we've got a big window onto that point until the 22nd, 23rd of September. And of course, we can see these asset prices have a really nice big rally. Eth 2.0 is also helping the general environment because that's bullish too. People get excited about that. You know how crypto works. So yeah, let's enjoy it while we're on it and see where we might end up. It's going to be fun to watch. But Hex has got even more, man. Icosa, Maximus, and plus the general environment looking very, very cool. Nice to see. Hex Token has 10 less subscribers than me. Get him level, everybody. We're going to hit 555 together. Yeah, that's right. We're both actually on track. Pretty similar track to hit the 5555, that magical number that Brazology, no, not Brazology. Yeah, Balliet Brand hit the other day. I always say Brazology, but it's actually Balliet Brand hit the other day, which was really cool. Bluegrass Lure says, Alex replied to a question about the audit. He stated the Hex community did a better job auditing Hedron than the auditor. He trusts the experts in the Hex eco to go through the Icosa code. Nice one. Actually, I think I may have missed that. So let me just go back to that because he may have put that in one of his comments and I might have missed that one. Let me just go check that under Alex. May have missed that one. tweets, retweets, I guess. Is it what normally where it go, I guess? Something through there. No, I can't see anything there. Okay, so he's responded somewhere else, so that's cool. Thank you very much, Bluegrass. Hey, Crypto7 says DHex. Move your mouse over the headers and the short button will appear, says Brazalji. Nice. Let's go jump over to that and have a quick look. Hedron. And we're going to the Hedron DApp. Let's close there. I guess it's the one you're talking about here. I can't see it on there. I'm not sure if that's where you're referring to, or you're referring to the actual DApp, Briz. Sometimes it's a bit harder to do when you're live streaming. Check you have deployed the like button, everybody, says Crypto7. That's true. Smash that like button. Are we able to stake Hedron for more Hedron? You are, attention, yeah. That's what the DApp has. Icosa Pro. Let me follow that one more time. That's what happens when you're catching up to where you were. So if you stake Hedron, you are going to you stake Hedron for Icosa. If you stake Icosa, you're going to get Hedron and Icosa. And remember, when you sell HSI stakes to the Icosa contract, they go and borrow that Hedron and then pay it back to stakers. So if you're staking Icosa, you're going to get some of that borrowed Hedron from HSI stakes. It's pretty neat like that. So cool. Now I'm not sure whether this is the one you're talking about with the filter. Oh yeah, there's the filters here. You're talking about. Nice. Okay, cool. That is a cool. Very nice. Very nice. All right, so I think I covered all that. Trying to interpret. It's like interpretive dance, you know. Alex is the giving tree of Hedron, says Briz. That's true. All right, so we're going to go and put that full screen because I like the bigger screen, that's for sure. I hope dollar cost crypto conveys this to his subscribers now, says Crypto7. True that, true. The headers on Icosa. Yeah, I saw that one, Briz. Sorry, it took me a little while to catch up to you. Stake Hedron to get Icosa. Also, when did Hedron staking start? Hasn't started yet. PulseChain. This is testnet, but it's gone public test network. And of course, as Bluegrass said, Alex replied to a question about the audit. He stated that the Hex community did a better job auditing. He trusts the experts in the Hex ecosystem to go through Icosa code. So it looks like he's going to be announcing a new launch date soon. So he's doing a few more updates. He's going to go do some live streams. I've invited him on Hex Token. And of course, he's going to look to set a launch date. So woohoo! This is even slightly earlier than I was hoping. Obviously, I had it at in August to start off with, then mid-August, and I thought, oh, we might be slightly later than that. But based on that tweet today, mid-August is looking good, possibly for the beginning of the mint phase. Remember, we are SA, that one of the 4 products. So there's Hedron staking, Icosa staking, selling HSIs to the Icosa contract, and we are all SA. And we are all SA as the wild card for the NFTs. And of course, that's going to run for 14 days. So it's going to be pretty exciting. Woo-hoo-hoo! It's going to be cool, man. So we could have it within a week, possibly. We will see. Brilliant stream. Steven has nailed it here, everybody, says Crypto7. I appreciate that. Big shout out. And yeah, if you haven't subbed to Crypto7, go subscribe as well. The Hex ecosystem is absolutely amazing and still growing, says DHex. Absolutely is. And C says, great stream as always, Hex Token. You heard about the Ethereum proof of work copy paste airdrop someone is doing, says Z. Yeah, we talked about that early in the live stream there, Z. We covered a lot of those articles as well. Very cool. Let's move on. I think we're up to 1 hour and 19, so we're going to probably wrap up shortly. But let's hear from Richard one more time on some of these alpha drops. And of course, let's go. Hopefully, it's going to play. We still have dial up here in New Zealand. We still have dial up. That's just the way it goes. No, they're not playing for some reason. Not sure why it is. I have to re-add them to the stream. So we're going to do that. I'm going to remove that too. Let me just re-add the first one. Here we go.
Said in the past, and you've been accurate about calling the bottom of Bitcoin and then calling the top of Bitcoin on these cycles. And it seems like that leads the industry or leads the bear bull. Then you also had called the watch top, and you've recently, maybe a month or so ago, had said about real estate. Where do people actually put money? If they're going to speculate on something, where do they put money?
Well, what if everything is going down? You just literally sit in cash and hope everything keeps going down, and then buy the bottom. But it's risky because, you know, some people don't update they don't like, some people follow t.me/Richard's calls and like they know what I'm thinking when I think it, or twitter.com/Richard Hartwin. But if you don't like update your life view or like read what I'm thinking about often enough, you can just miss like a big move, you know? So I think the bottom will come at some point. And in Hex, it might already be here. Like Hex might have already bottomed. Because the last bear market only lasted a year. And we're now a year and a half into this bear market. And it's because a fake double top was bought on leverage, and now all those guys are getting liquidated. 3 Arrows Capital, etc. And then people are discovering that getting loans on your crypto is also leverage, but you just didn't know it. So like now you're being forced to sell to meet your margin call of getting liquidated on your loan. But people didn't realize that could happen because they thought crypto only went up and never down. So once that's all washed out, and if macro at least pauses on the interest rate increases or goes flat for a little while, you know, that could be our bottom, and the timing is about right for it. So Hex might have bottomed now. You might see bottoms in Ethereum and Bitcoin next few months, hopefully. But really, the interest rates does affect it.
Right.
So the Fed can, if they keep raising rates, I mean, if they move rates back to the 70s, you're going to continue to see prices decline across everything. But here's the part that people don't get, that I know that nobody else knows. If the prices continue to go down and the value of your assets continues to go down, it cancels out. So if you had assets and you wanted to buy a house with them, the house goes down and your assets go down, but they go down the same rate, you broke even. And so the real difference in a market where the very, very occasional instance where cash is actually becoming more valuable almost never happens, but we're in it now. As long as what you have isn't dropping at the same rate the prices of the stuff you want are, you're still ahead of the game. It's an interesting little analysis that could make you feel better about watching the price of things go down. Right. I mean, that's the difference. If you don't own the thing, you want the price to go down. If you do own the thing, you want the price to go up. So it's really just a question of what you own. You own real estate, you want the price to go up. You want to buy more real estate, you want the price to go down. You own crypto, you want the price to go up. You want to buy crypto, you want the price to go down. Oh, interesting fact. You may not have heard this, but the sacrifice addresses for PulseChain and PulseX at one point were sitting on $660 million of stablecoin.
Now that little drop at the end, man, that was just these little teaser drops. It's just hilarious. You know, people afterwards they were going, "Yeah, interesting." I'm sure the penny hadn't dropped at that stage. I'm sure the penny hadn't dropped. It was so funny. I was just listening to all that stuff. It was crazy stuff there. So pretty funny. And of course, lots of little mini alphas there. And of course, way to go. And of course, this is the second part. Let's watch this again. Bam.
Can you comment about market appetite outside of Hex? Because I know you engage the community outside of Hex and Hexicans. Can you talk about, you know, are people asking for advice? Are they asking to participate? Or are they kind of holding their positions or what?
I mean, you've had a couple people. I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean, outside of like, let's just say the Hex YouTubers and everything like that, everyone's been pretty scared to tell anyone to even DCA or anything like that.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I told my best friends to get in.
Well, I said outside of like the Hex influence group and everything like that, you know, like everyone else is pretty, you know, because I mean, just about everyone who recommended anything in the last 2 years, it's pretty much gone. It's like down 90%. I mean, and then most other influencers, you know, talked about like Luna, Celsius, Voyager.
Oh, fuck all those people.
Yeah, all that shit. And then
scumbags.
Yeah, so I mean, but there is starting to be. I mean, this is why I go on all these red pill shows and everything, trying to tell people about Hex and other cryptocurrencies, is because it's like you want to buy when the prices are going down, obviously, and it's not the easiest time to be buying, obviously, right? But
it is actually this time. You get more for the same money. I never understood this logic. Why do people like paying more for stuff?
I don't.
Stuff is the same stuff. It's the same stuff. Wouldn't you rather get more stuff for your money than less stuff?
Yeah, that's why we've been screaming it from the rooftops for people to buy. I mean, we have literally outside of the Hexagons. Like, I think I've been one of me, Charlie, and a couple of guys have been one of the few people out here telling people to get Hex now. I mean, every time we do a course and everything like that, you know, this last course we ended up getting, we have like almost, you know, maybe 870 people in this more than half of them are brand new, and then they're all going to be onboarded into Hex. You know, so we've been onboarding as much as we can. You know, getting people into Ethereum at the very least, tiptoeing them, because once they have Ethereum, they can just one little step and they're in Hex or in their whatever cryptocurrency they want to get into. But typically, you know, Hex is probably the best one. Yeah.
I don't think people realize how good it is that you can go up 10,000x and only dip 10% more than Ethereum. Ethereum dipped 85, Hex dipped 95. Still up 70x versus Ethereum. 70x. That's a lot of percent. Isn't that 7,000%?
Yeah, so I made that point a couple of weeks ago, is the fact that how Hex had stayed around that 2.8, 3.5 cents, and how cool that was, given how high it had gone up. And of course, now it had sort of established itself as a real savings product. And of course, here we are, you know, 980 days in the Hex journey. Really is profound. And of course, we're only getting warmed up. It's so cool. And the staking numbers, the wallet growth numbers, generally speaking, have been very bullish. And of course, we're even, you know, pre-viral, pre-PulseChain, pre-highest of stakes, all the rest of these products that are coming out, Maxi, Icosa, Power City Flex. I mean, there's so much coming ahead. It's going to be so good. Hex Investment Trust, it's all coming. All right, so we've got a couple of comments in there. I like the fishing analogy, says Crypto7, absolutely. And DHex says, so exciting for Hexkins and Hex Drone Hexkins, says, let's go. DHex, I'm sure you're trying to catch me on those words, man. Woohoo! DHex is announced. And Cape Figure, a super sticker, woohoo! Thanks for the tireless daily streams you put in, Superman. I wish I could donate daily for your time that you donate. It means a lot. I appreciate that, Cape Figure. Big shout out to you. Really means a lot. So a big Superman bow down from me. Really, really is cool. Appreciate it big time. And of course, DB says DCC told people Hex was going sub 1 cent, lol. Yeah, so you know, fundamentally, we got so many things. We've got good stuff happening in the chart. We've got Richard giving off really good signals, and we've got all these second layer derivatives coming. They're going to eat up circulating supply, put buy pressure into the market as well. It's super bullish. We've got a window of opportunity up until the 22nd, 23rd of September. It's looking like a dream run. We've got Ethereum 2.0 merge, and of course, that's great. So good stuff all around, I think. DC is like, people recommend Celsius and Luna, and right is like, if those scumbags, and DC is like, yeah, well, yeah, it was quite funny because DC promotes Celsius. Right, yeah, okay. I haven't watched that much of his stuff. I do like occasional some of his short videos. He's pretty good and knowledgeable, but of course, people can, you know, promote things that don't work out too. It's just the way it goes. Hex God Turtle, where did the money move to? That was in the sack address. Well, is what we're saying is that it's possibly moved into other cryptos rather than stable coins. Is the hint there? I haven't done the chain analysis, but it appears to be what's probably happened. So if people want to go and do that, they can try and firm that up. I did go into a couple of wallets, but I decided to stop there because I just don't have the time to do it. Where did the money move to? I don't watch him. He's a clout chaser, says DV. Pot of Gold says $1,000 for a DDC course. Is it really? Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Now, he did talk about the other day that he had onboarded something like, on that same video, actually, I think something like 5,000 or 7,000 people into Hex as stakers. So there we are. Sorry, I meant everyone else. Yeah. Jonathan thanks, Superman, says, Jonathan, we are the ones that love helping the individual. I like that one, Jonathan. We appreciate that sentiment, and that's what we try to do on this channel. Great community and great information. That's kind of the where we like to sit, that's for sure. Chris says DCC has done some great work too, like the roller to Massey stream, says Chris. That's absolutely right, Chris. Well said. Yeah, I like him a lot. Doesn't mean that he gets all the calls right. That's just the way it goes. Morning, Hex Biker, says Cape Figure. He's done a lot of good work. I agree. Hey, is Hex Figure? No, Hex Biker in the chat. Hey, good morning. Woo, Hex Biker. Good to see you. Big shout out to everybody in Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and England. As Hex Biker always reminds me to say that. So a big shout out to you all. What else we got going on there? Blue Guys Lewis says, thanks, Superman. Great stream. Hey, you're welcome. We're an hour and a half. I think we're going to wrap up now. I really do appreciate everybody's support. And of course, I hope you enjoyed covering some really important topics. Obviously, all the charts are looking really nice. Hex, of course, is making a move up to 55.3 cents there. And of course, keep saying 55.3 cents and getting towards top of the Bollinger Bands. We could ride that up quite nicely. Hedron is at 1953, looking really bullish. And a Pulse Dodge coin there, still looking pretty healthy. as well at $7.85, pushing back from the lows there of $7.24 earlier. Very cool. We've obviously got lots of stuff happening with the ETH fork and the ETH proof of work. So we went through that. You can check that on earlier. Some of those prices, those synthetics, are pretty much trading at the moment. ETH W and ETH S. We'll see how they go. It looks like they've had their day for the moment. We'll be watching those in the future as well. X remains performing extremely well. And of course, the X returns are looking pretty tidy still from the all-time lows. And we like that. We like that a lot. All right, let's jump away. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And if you want to support the channel, hit the join button. We've got Pulse Skins, Hex Skins, Art Club. We really do appreciate the support there. Get into our Discord. We're heading up towards 650 members. And of course, we have great information and great community. Way to go. There's the Discord right there. And of course, we have everything you could possibly ask for in there. Very, very nice, including videos from other YouTubers. So check that out. Rocket Mob says you can always find hidden gems in RH streams. That's true, Rocket Mob. And he dropped probably at least half a dozen in that last stream related to crypto. So it was pretty cool. Let's finish up on the Hedron chart. That is the chart of the day. The chart of the day is the Hedron chart. What makes Hedron more bullish than a Maxi or PLSD? Exciting stuff, says PulseChain. And go for more hours, says Brazalji. I would like to, Briz, but I've got people here now. And I may pop on later on for a third live stream. We might talk about the charts. If the charts keep pumping, I'll jump on later on. How about that? We'll hit the rewind button over breakfast, says Hex Biker. I appreciate that. And smash the like button. Join everybody. Absolutely join. And of course, Rocket Mob, keep going. Superman says Rocket Mob. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Hey, nice. I like the Rocket Mob. Awesome stream, says Dog Days. Appreciate that. When big bass is coming. Like as well. And take care, Superman says Astro. Very nice. Here is the Discord if you want to join. It's also in the video description. Take care, Superman, and thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Sign up for me. I am trying to slow down how fast I speak because, Kiwis tend to speak quite fast. I'm just trying to slow that down. Hopefully that's going nicely too as well. All right, let's bring in the pump. Let's go. Win big bass. Win big bass is DB. Let's bring it on. The big bass. We like to dance party here too. We like to have our fun. So let's get into it. How Power City Core. Peace out. Bye for now. Take care. Woohoo!
This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Yes, every scammer in the world is going to tell you something similar, but in this case, you are actually going to have regret.
I mean, you're scamming everyone.
Richard Hart, he's got a history of being called the spam master.
There's some weird things going on with his coins.
Making one of the biggest Ponzi schemes that we have ever seen.
Hex coin is 1000% a scam coin.
People are going to lose money because of you.
Remember all the haters? All the haters that told you that I was a scammer and Hex was a scam? I got bad news for the haters. We're making new all-time highs where everything else is getting wrecked. Price is up 4,000 or 5,000 fold in 600 days.
I've made enough money in the last week that I could buy a house in cash.
I would never have to work another day in my life.
I'm here to shill. I want to change the world, and I can only do that if people participate. The only thing that matters in this world is goods and services. Everything else is accounting. And our made-up imaginary internet money is better than the government's made-up imaginary internet money. Both of them are only backed by the shared fiction of the humans believing that they have value.
If Hex is a religion, then Richard is God.
I'm in crypto for glory. I want to have the best cryptocurrency that's ever existed. I want to have the best performing asset that's ever existed.
And so I think of blockchain as like the internet. In the 90s, everyone thought the internet was just for email.
I bought some this morning.
They're imaginary quarters. Like, it's like playing Monopoly.
I put it all in. I went.
Like, all what?
All over house money.
This is a force that is not going to go away. The cryptocurrency is not going away. And at some point, the people that you met that you thought were crazy loon birds, they're going to be in the 1%, and they're going to be the people that own half everything.